Frank is a bass player. He's a singer, he's a bass player, and he's a guitar player, a rhythm player. So who better to talk about the core of rhythm playing, okay, and the rhythm section, as a guy that plays every rhythm there is in a band. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Frank. I play rhythm guitar. I played with a lot of gypsy jazz musicians like Robin Nolan. He's my neighbor. He's living next door. Reinier Voet, Tochelo Rosenberg, Jelle van Tongeren, and also with Tim Kliphuis. I did a lot of touring with Robin, for example, and with other guys, and with Nunu. I play always when I'm in Lisbon. I really love to play with Nunu and some other people from Lisbon. My main thing, I play the bass. I've got my bass over there, and I play the rhythm guitar. That's the main.
And you sing.
And I'm singing as well. Yeah. For me, this was when I started with gypsy jazz. Then there wasn't YouTube or something like this, so you couldn't see. I had a very old video cassette with some videos of Stochelo playing, Stochelo Rosenberg, and he teach me some easy way to play the chords. And this, now I play other chords because I want another sound, but this is still some basic for me, which I use a lot. And so it's all chords you can play with only 3 fingers. In fact, you can play all the chords with only these 3 fingers. What I was thinking about was playing like a rhythm in G. And you know rhythm changes, no? Sorry, I did the wrong way. I have to do it with 3 fingers. And of course you can do this. And then you have got what's called the molduur. No.
The sequence you're talking about is G major, 1 6 3, and then you move to the diminished.
And then you move to the A minor with also a 6,
which is the same position.
Yes.
G sharp.
G sharp.
A minor.
And then A minor.
Right.
And in fact, the D7, which you play next, you can do it like this. You can put your finger on the right. G, but you can also keep it here. You can stay there, or you can do this.
Move the bass.
So it's a really easy way to play this first part. And of course, you can also do this, because this is the same as a G. But then
first inversion.
The bass, you put the 3 in the bass. You see? And then you play a little bit different. It's in fact this diminished. It's not the same as this one, of course.
Exactly.
This would be the same, but it's possible as well. You have to do it a little bit. If you play with another rhythm player, you have to do. If he is playing this one, and you're playing
don't play that one.
It's a little bit out. But so you can also do this.
Exactly.
Of course. So that's a really easy way. And then, so this is G again, G sharp diminished, A minor with a 6, D7, all with the 3 fingers, and then
inversion.
And then you get the molduur, you know, like this. G, G7, C, C minor, G, D, G.
Frank, hold that thought. Before we continue, the thing that Frank is talking about, the diminished, is that when you're using a chromatic, ascending chromatic movement, you're coming from G major.
Yeah.
Go to the G sharp, right? Diminished,
yeah.
And then A D7. But if you want a descending chromatic movement, if you're starting on the 3rd of G, yeah. This is G. I have a different diminished, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I have a different diminished because now I'm creating an harmonic passing chord towards the A, not from above. I'm descending, okay? And this works because the thing is, I'm going from point A to point B. Actually, let me do this. I'm going from point A to point B, and this is the chromatic passing tone. So, right? But if I'm starting from here, the chromatic passing point is this one, right? And now I create the tension note from a different diminished. In a melodic point of view, Ricardo, for instance, is a clarinet player. This is great for you to keep in mind, for all of us to keep in mind, because when you start improvising, we can also right, ascending, and now descending, diminished. As a chromatic passing harmonic appoggiatura, if you want, you can use the G sharp diminished or the B flat diminished. Keep this in mind, okay? For you to improvise, solo, and to comp, okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's right. That's the first part. You can also use it to. You can do all these things. You can all these variations, and then at a certain point comes the Moldur. But this you can also do with this 3 finger chords.
Yes.
So you can use, this is in fact a G with this one in the bass, which is the third.
First inversion. Yes.
Yeah. So and then you go to the G7, but you have this in the bass, which is in fact the fifth.
Second inversion. Yes.
Yeah. So you do
G7 with the D on the bass.
That's it. Yeah. And then you do this one, which is a C.
The same shape as the G.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. So it's with the 6 and with the 3. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes minor. And then you go back to the G. Yeah, so you can, this whole scheme. What's the name in English? It's half diminished, you know?
Half diminished.
Half diminished, yeah.
You can say it in Dutch so everybody understands.
Yeah. You can even play this one like this. Because, so you can play a lot with the 3 chords. So if you do it in minor, like minor swing, you can do a lot of these chords. It opens a lot of possibilities if you see everything in this line, and you can use your bass, do nice bass lines as well.
Let me suggest, if you know Billy Do, I think I talked about Billy Do last week, but I don't want to get repetitive. But Billy Do is probably one of the greatest jungle tunes that it's not out there, and not everybody plays it. And he's playing a first part. And in a half time tempo, and then he doubles, and what he uses to substitute to change the tempo from a half to a double time is this. And then he kicks it. So it's exactly what Frank is saying. The movement, the ascending movement, and then the descending movement. And then he goes off to the soul. Let me just welcome DJC is Django from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, I think. Thanks for joining. It's first time for Django in Calgary. So we already have a Mitchell from Colorado, Dave from Wales. There's some other guys joining. Eduardo, I think, is from France. It's great to have you all here. You were playing some accents. Everybody comes to me saying, "Oh, Frank does this great accents when he's playing. What is he playing? Can you show us what kind of flourishes?"
Sure. If you think, okay, this is always the same thing, this rhythm of gypsy jazz, it's boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick. That's it. Oh wait, my plectrum, my big boom chick, boom chick, boom chick. But of course, you can do a lot of things, subtle things when you're playing rhythm, and you have to just what Nunu said. You have to be quite straight. Don't do too many strange things, because that's when you're playing a lot. You think, okay, it's nice. I do all kind of strange accents, but soloists sometimes get a little bit irritated if you do it too much. But if you do it a little, it's nice. Of course, you have accents like the bolero rhythm, but you can use it. Of course, you can do it, and you can play quite straight, and then you. Very small accents, things like this you can do.
You usually accent the upbeats.
Try to play like very straight, which is nice sometimes, like doom chick, doom chick, doom chick. But you can also do doom chick, doom chick, doom chick, doom chick. Mostly when the bass is playing in two, because you always have to deal with not always, but often you have to deal with the bass player. So if you have this bass player who's playing in two, like boom, 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 so then you got this really old swing feeling, boom, boom, and you can do this a little bit in your guitar player. So you have this really old feeling, but then when the place is going in four, it doesn't match really well. So then it's better to play a little bit more
straight.
Yeah, more straight. For example, with Robin Nolan, especially with his old records, and it's also because he was playing a lot on the street and he wants to do the real power thing. He wants you to do the first schemes a little bit normal, and then at a certain moment he wants to
shuffle.
Yeah. So that gets more power, also in the swing things. When he's playing along, he's doing a little bit. It gives more power, especially fast songs. They start a little bit in some kind of easy feeling, and then at a certain moment you want to give it some more power. Of course, you don't want to give it a faster tempo, but you want to give it more power. And this is a way to do it, to start like very clean, and at a certain moment give it more power. And then after a while, the theme is going out, and then you're back in the very clean way again. So that's also something a lot of rhythm players do, and some soloists really like it if you do this, because you give them some more power.
Yeah,
some boost. That depends also a little bit on the situation. When you're playing with another rhythm player, it's nice to do this kind of things. But if you're the only rhythm player, sometimes it's better to just keep it a little bit straight.
And what chords do you use for the 30s blues? Ooh. When Django plays the blues, doesn't use dominant chords on the root chord. If you're playing a blues, you're not using. No. This is not something that the 1930s was fashionable. You use a blues with a six.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about this three finger chords, which is very practical and nice. I wanted the sound that every string is used, and that you have a lot of things in the low strings which are really close to each other, so that you get a little muddy sound, like not this chord which you play with your thumb. For example, this is an A, and you do this with a double. So you have all the strings, and you have a lot of low close to each other, which give this woo 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 sound. And I like it also for the old. For me, it sounds.
It's a fuller sound.
Yeah, it's a fuller sound. It depends a little bit on with whom you're playing, and if you're playing with another rhythm guitar player, for example. And then if you're both playing like this, it's sometimes a little bit full, and then you can put some more accent on the high strings. But I like it also for this blues. You're right, not with the this kind of chords, but with muddy chords.
Your guitar is on fire. Zoom can't take it. Exactly. The guys were asking for specific patterns, but there aren't.
No,
specific
I don't
patterns,
know. Yeah,
right?
you just have to listen. Yeah, it's small things which you do it automatically. I mean, you can't play all the time like this. You're going to do. So you have to. Do you hear me? You have to even when you're changing from the chords, I think it's better to not concentrate on a lot of patterns and strange accents. It's very difficult to play it really straight. Even when you change the chords, you just go on. I think this is something you should take a metronome and then try to not do accents. You will see that it's extremely difficult. So you will do it when you change chords, when you do things. And in fact, I'm always trying to not play accents, and at a certain moment I find myself playing all kind of strange accents, because it will come automatically.
Yeah.
And it can be nice, but it's something you do. And Nuno told me, yeah, people like it. They say, oh, it's nice, Frank gives this nice accent, but that's not my.
Less is more.
I think often less is more. And you can do some things like I told you to do a do-ma-chicka, or to try to give some accents, but often it's better as a rhythm guitar player to not do it. And when you play with two guitars, or when someone else is playing the solo, or when you're playing with a violin, it's nice if the solo guitar is doing some accents, like like this 4 accent and thing, but don't do it too much when you're playing the rhythm, because it's not always nice.
Whenever I play with Frank, I just, when Marian or Mari is playing solo, and we're both comping, I only play and let him play the fills. Whenever he's the guy, the quiet guy, just I'm just tired of doing all the fills, and he's just keeping the groove, then I start accenting. If you're taking a solo, if you hear what the accompaniment is, what's happening in the accompaniment, in the comping, you take a lot of info of the feel that you can put in your phrasing. You're listening to Django recordings or Birelli. Birelli is super crowded when he's accenting other soloists, okay? But he gives so many good ideas.
Yeah, I remember that Stefan Grappelli, he said that when Django was playing, when he was soloing Grappelli and Django was playing a rhythm, it was like there was a big band behind him, because he's doing all these accents, and then with nice voicings, the copper section, a big band playing it, boop, boop, doop, doop, boop, boop, and then you can. So you have to, if you want to do this, you really have to listen to Django. I know many people try to do this, but then it's just not good. So be careful with it.
With my students, I always advise them first and foremost to make it swing with only downstrokes and 1, 2, 3, 4 beat, right?
Yeah,
that's what Frank was talking about also.
Yeah, that's also my thing in the when you play the rhythm guitar. It's very difficult to play very straight swinging without accents. It's even more difficult to play without accent, because with the accent you're often hide that something is going not really right, and you can, with a little accent, you can be in time again and things like this. So if I were you and I would practice on rhythm playing, I would first practice on playing really straight and without accent, even if you're changing chords, which is extremely difficult.
It's kind of an ego thing. Oh, this playing this for a whole tune or for a whole concert is boring, or is lame, or it's easy. I want to see you guys play this for 2 hours. See if you can. I remember talking to a bass player, a funky bass player, that he has the same line for 5, 6, 7 minutes. And I remember years ago, and he's like, this is kind of a mental thing. This is kind of a meditation thing. I have to keep the rhythm going. I have to keep the groove going, right? And if I take this bass line off track, the whole band is out, right? So I get in the zone and I play the groove, play the groove, play the groove. And it's exactly the same thing here. And I think it's what Frank is saying. Keep the rhythm and make it swing only with 4 strokes. How? This is something that you start hearing, create some differences between the 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Or not. You can play straight, or you can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, or you can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It has to move from point A to point B. When you have this, it's easier for you to. Mitchell is asking, can you play swing without an accent? Of course he can.
If I can do it, or if
yes.
it's even if it's possible at all, I don't know. Yeah, but
let's see.
It depends on what you call an accent, of course, because everything is an accent, in fact. But if you do it like the ooh was one accent already. Ah, sorry, no, I can't. Really difficult. I already did some small accents.
Frank is accenting, already accenting the bass. Right? Bass treble, bass treble. This is already a slide. You can consider this as like accenting.
It is. You can also play like
exactly.
It can be really groovy, especially when you have a nice bass player with it. So yeah, try to do it. But of course, you get a little bit more this old swing feeling if you do a little bit more bass. And I had some lessons from Gypsy here in Amsterdam, and he said what I did wrong in his vision was that because you want to have a short second, the second and the fourth you want to have quite short. So it's hard to give a tone and to hear the notes and also to keep it short. So I practice a lot on this. It's like because you're moving all the time
Yeah.
your left hand also to
La
stop
palma.
it. You know, you can't play all the time. You can't keep it like this. You get this. So it's some kind of coordination between your left hand and your right hand, but you have to that you hear it and then stop it.
A bit dry.
I practice it a lot with a metronome. It's really hard to do it, but at a certain moment you get it. To give it the sound, but
Yeah.
you hear many people who play like this. Then you don't hear the sound of the chords, you only hear the bass. It's hard, yeah, you have to practice on this as well, I think.
We were focusing more on the 1930s, right? Jungle style. But nowadays, French players like Adrien Monhard, Gonzalo Vergara, Antoine Boyer, Sébastien Gignot, they have a very dry, light percussive with pitches of a note barely audible style of rhythm playing. The groove of the right hand does a lot for that dryness and lightness of the comping. What I feel is that they take out the upstroke, okay, and they accent the two and the four, but with a very short stroke, okay. What nowadays guys start playing is right, super dry, okay, and short. Instead of you can see the difference when I keep my left hand down, okay, the sound will open more, and that's precisely what they avoid.
Yeah.
No upstrokes.
It's really nice to try to play to all these things, and even you can even do it in one song. I mean, the point where you change from the one to the other is always, of course, at the end of a scheme or when you go to the bridge or something. So you have to you just, it's not nice when you change this kind of rhythms all the time, but if you do it with a certain idea behind it at a certain specific moment, it can be nice. You get another feeling at once in the middle of the song, or maybe when you change from one soloist to another one, it can be really nice to do this kind of things. Or for example, when you play the theme, you do it really really clean kind of playing, and then when the solos come, you do it a little bit more cool, and then when the other soloists come, you're going back to this clean kind of playing.
In ballads, for instance, it's kind of a natural for you to hear like this kind of comping, long short, long short, long short. But when the soloist starts kicking in, short,
almost
dry,
like
short, dry.
It's also sometimes really nice with the ballad just to do it like
super long. Exactly.
Can be very beautiful. Just everything the same, but really long. No accent at all. And then with the solo, you can do like. That you do, that's almost like a tango. Short and just the same, can be really nice as well.
When the groove and the comping is good, you always want a solo.
Yeah,
I'm listening to Frank. I want a solo.
In gypsy jazz, it's really normal to play the six, to have a lot of six sound everywhere. And then you have, when you play this minor, you can. It's really full. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do So it's like the 3 I told you in the beginning, but then you take this with it. You flatten this finger and you do like, you get this full sound, and you can even. And then of course it's nice to do something like this. And you go to the 7, and then you can always play this diminished chord. And I think you know this trick. And even if you or you do it like this, then you don't have the diminished problem, because sometimes it's not possible. It's a nice voicing, and then you go to this one, which you can do. This is really nice, for example, like this. I think you know this trick.
Chord substitutions. We already talked about this. You substitute the F minor for the D half diminished. Why? Because you're going from the root of F to the 6th of F. Okay. Fa, sol, la, si, do, re. Okay. So this is the F minor triad, and you put the 6 on the bass. Okay.
Yeah, that's always the 6 feeling is really gives a really gypsy jazz feeling. There's a lot of 6 in it. So here you put it in the bass, and it's this trick, eh? You know this trick? You can do it, for example, in a waltz. Etc. But so it's often nice to play instead of this, for example, F minor, to play it like this. So you can, for example, the tune like Dark Eyes. So you can do it like
Yeah. Ricardo was asking about super fast tempos. Any difference with your comping? We always like to speed things up. Usually, when you're playing super fast, the first thing that I consider I realize that the greats start doing is lose the upstroke.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another trick. You mean what another thing you could do is you start with the upstroke, and that's the one. Up. So then it's really easy to play fast. Of course, you can also do it
half time, right?
Yeah,
you're doing it half time.
In fact, it sounds better if you do it the other way around. So you start with the up.
Up is the one.
And so forth. So you start with the up and then go down. And I don't know, maybe for you it's really easy, but for me it was difficult. I really had to, because it has some contra-intuitive feeling to do this, to start with the up. So I had to really practice it a long time with the metronome, and at a certain moment I could do it when we played fast, because it's also at a certain moment you have to change from the other one. It's quite different. So it's also something you should practice.
Yeah.
So before you do
think about the 1 up, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Point here is to accent the 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, right? And like rubbing your head and patting your belly, exactly.
Yeah.
For fast tempos, cut the upstroke and then focus on 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4.
Of course, there are other rhythms like the bossa nova. There's a typical way to play bossa nova in gypsy jazz. There are different ways to do it, and if you do play, some people like Robin, he likes to play that very fast, then it gets some other feeling, I think. But you can do it a little bit with your hand, with this part.
Muting.
Of the hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get this feeling. Of course, here you can also start with a lot of accents if you want.
Right on over there. You should start each chord with an upstroke. Right? Every new chord starts on the N4 beat. Da 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 da. And of course, you have the bolero that Frank was talking about, and this has that triplet that you can also use as an accent. Ta ta da da ta ta gamalata. Usually you play every downstroke, okay, except the triplet, of course. You play down, triplet, down, down. Okay.
Yeah. I was just checking if I played it like this, but you're right. I do it also. Yeah.
You're doing this 7 to 6, right?
Yeah.
Focus on the triplet thing, okay? If you're thinking about soloing, take these ideas, take these rhythmic figures and apply it to your solos. Do you play a lot of chords with a thumb? You use the middle finger to press the
Double.
fifth and the fourth string.
Yeah. So I get one with this winger. I get. So and with this also two. This
Bar.
I get two. Yeah.
Bar with the ring finger, bar with the middle finger.
Yeah. I play it a lot, this chord. I like it.
The dominant chords you can also play with the thumb. If you're playing like a D9, you just.
Yeah. I do the
easy.
same thing. Mostly when I play the D, you get this. This muddy sound. I like it.
Exactly.
You can also do it with this. This is the D. You also play double, so you get the A, which is in fact the 5, the D.
Exactly.
You play it in the bass, which is nice.
For me, it's easier to play with a thumb here
You
rather
also play
than
this with the thumb?
this one with a thumb.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, you can also do it, of course. Yeah.
For me, it's easier than just bar with with the middle finger.
Oh, yeah. I like this. It's easy. If you just have to put your finger in the middle of the 2 strings, and then
You can play like bar.
yeah.
If you don't want to play with your thumb, you can play it bar, or you can play without the root and play like this, or play like this, and then you put the thumb. Okay, first focus on this position, and then you put the thumb.
Okay, thank you all.
Frank,
Thank you. It was nice to.
thank you very much, and see you soon. Thanks.
Yeah, see you.
Thanks, buddy.
See you next time. Bye bye.